I'm ready. I'm ready for the Guest Machado show. You know why?
Dude, my car says it's fucking 6 degrees out. 6, not 1-6, not 6-6, not 6-7. 6. 6. Good morning, Renee. Whiskers in Wonderland. What? Good morning. Penrosa. Hi. Gloria. Hi. Wait, is somebody's name on this? I wouldn't whisk it. Are you fucking kidding me? Genuine pancakes. Random Brockton whore. Nicola is here. Haven't seen Nicola in a while. Hope you're well. Tara. Hi, Tara. God damn it. I wish I had a good fucking YouTube handle. Jess Machado show is dumb. Chew. God bless me. Good morning, Shelly. Wait, that said Jeff White, and I scrolled fast and I thought it said Jeff Stees, and I was going to be like, if some bitch has a YouTube channel with Jeff Stees in it, high five. Thank you. Good morning, the good Jen, as opposed to the bad one. Hi, Karen. Spicy Missy, good morning. Gang's all here. Gang is all here. Everyone is here. Everyone is freezing. I am not. I am actually toasty. Toasty. Hi, good morning. Did we just get a new member? Thank you for joining us. I can't see you, but I can see you. It is a very brisk intersection here today. There's lots of shit going on. Lots of cars going by swiftly. Everybody's got places to go and things to do today. It's Wednesday and Bunny After Dark doesn't start until 7. Where are you going? In case you haven't heard, we have a special guest on our show tonight. For the first time as an official guest, we have Aiden Carney. I don't know if you have heard of him. He is just some guy from Worcester, but he's going to be on my show tonight. And you know what? He asked me a couple of times, when are you going to have me on the show? Right? And I was like, oh, it's got to be right. And then when he yelled at me and everybody, all the bunnies were mad at him, he was like, you should have me on your show. And I was like, nope. Nope, it doesn't work that way. I get to keep my space and be angry. You get to keep your space and be doing whatever you do. You don't get to use my space. It's come make yourself feel better. This is where I do my therapy. But in light of the official announcement of the documentary or docu-series, I don't know what it's going to look like, I was like, now is the time. It is now time. Also, with court coming up next week. Now, granted, it was still scheduled for Friday. So I thought, well, this will be a good week. Let's get everybody hyped up for court and let's talk about the documentary or whatever. And court has now been changed. I don't know exactly what happened. It looks as if Mr. Betterow has a funeral to attend. I do not know. I am sure you all do know what's going on. Slightly disappointed. I was looking forward to court. These things have become social events of the season. And I love that. Speaking of things I love, Nick Rocco writing on his X account that nothing will be streamed from the Reed account unless it's like sanctioned by them or whatever. Like, Yeah. You know it's a disaster. You know that in your fucking weird hatred for Aiden, you have sabotaged this whole Karen Reed bullshit to the point of being an absolute internet joke. You got this Nostradamus fucking song from Frat House Media where James Jackson has these weird little teeth and ears looking like a bat hanging upside down in a cave. It's a joke. You got Mike Crawford, who I don't know who gave this man some sort of credentials. He cannot interview people properly. He can't talk properly. He backhandedly insulted Runkle on the Karen Reed fundraiser to like talk about shit about like views and subs and like, what the fuck are you doing? Weirdo. Go back to being weird. I'm so sorry, but this Karen Reed fucking movement has basically given free passes to a lot of fucking creeps. Nan, you're one of them. Like, it's time to button it the fuck up. It's time to stop slumming, essentially, is what I'm saying. Everybody can slum once in a while because, you know, there was shit going on. It's a lot going on. Okay, murder. Oh, trial. Oh, okay. We don't really care. Everybody's here. Yay. No, it's done. It's over. Button this shit the fuck up, please. Get rid of the weirdos. I have been doing it since August of 2025. If the person in real life is awkward, weird, or wears dirty old pants, then you should not be fluffing them up on the internet in any way, shape, or form. Unsubscribe and buzz out of there. We don't want that. You wouldn't fucking talk and hang out with these people in real life. I'm not going to call up Mike Crawford and say, you want to meet me and Jeff at the Casino on a Saturday at 8 p.m. for some beverages and a couple smokes. No fucking way. Never. And honestly, there is like a common denominator amongst these people, right? Brian, Nan, MLP, Mike Crawford. They are particularly nasty on the internet. I spent some serious time yesterday going back and looking at old posts of mine to be self-reflective. And honestly, I am not nasty at all. Even on here, I'm like kind of always joking or whatever. Sometimes I get a little crazy. But these people are downright fucking nasty. Like they act like my existence truly, truly offends them. I would never give anybody that power. Weird. Anyway, take out the papers and the trash. Yakety yak. Don't talk back. That song in my head. Bye. 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 You know who got fucked over royally? Barry fucking Lewis. And I'm going to talk about Barry, okay, for a second, because so here, there's a little bit of an agenda. We're going to talk about Barry. We got to talk about Grant Court because I got some stuff sent to me last night. Vice President. So that's the three things to start. Okay. Listen, if you don't know who Barry Lewis is, okay, I don't know what his name is on the internet right now. The other day it was all like it was all thumbs up emojis as his name. Then it was all turtles. Changes all the time. I have no idea what his handle is. I don't know. Okay. All I do know is that as sure as the sun will rise, I will have an inbox from Barry Lewis. Okay. And I don't know him. I didn't really understand anything about him. And to be honest with you, that's probably his fault. Because the way that he sends me posts and the way that he talks is completely erratic, and it's very hard for me to understand. However, what I have essentially taken away from this, when I cut out all of the other stuff, okay, is that Barry Lewis and Nan Gallagher had an online relationship that included sexting and sending nude photos. And then she fucking ghosted him. And he is really pissed the fuck off about that, okay? Really mad about that. And he doesn't know how to share that with people. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know what to do. It's been going on for over a year. And he is just at a loss. Messages between the two of these people gave this guy every reason to believe that Nan Gallagher Esquire from New Jersey was going to be in a loving relationship with Barry Lewis, okay? They were going to have exquisite lovemaking. And she sent him photos of herself and asked if he was going to pleasure himself to those photos. And Barry was all fucking it, okay? And Barry lives in Florida. Nan Chop lives in New Jersey. So I don't know how this was going to happen or what was going to happen. I don't know. But Barry got burned pretty fucking bad. He also claims he was catfished and sent me many photos of Daniel that were sent to him. And Daniel doesn't look like that in real life, right? She doesn't look like that in real life. So he's taken up cause with that. And I just want to say that Barry doesn't do himself any favors because he's very hard to follow, and he gets an impetuous vibe about him, and he wants you to look at his messages immediately, and and it's like, Barry, I barely can look at my own shit. I don't have time to figure this out, but I just want to put out a statement, a blanket statement, that I do feel sincerely bad for this man, okay? He honestly was duped by this woman, and he really has no real recourse other than to lash out on the Twitter when he can. And I feel badly for him. And I feel like because of how he is overlooked all the time. People are like, oh, Barry's crazy and Barry posts too much. I can't understand what Barry says. Strip all that the fuck away. Barry was fucking duped by Nan Gallagher, and he's fucking upset about it. And then she gaslights him by saying he's crazy. Bitch, you were in a relationship with this man on the internet. It's like Olivia and Flip 2.0 or 1.0. I don't know when it started. The fact of the matter is you have a woman. Now, bless the heart of the bestie, because I essentially was like, who's responsible for this? Who's responsible for opening up the portal for Daniel to come into the free Karen Reed world? And don't you know, it's Mike Crawford. And Mike fucking Crawford was the first person to introduce and open up the portal for this wildebeest to get in here. And his fucking, goddamn it, I can't stand it now that I see it, now that I've heard it. You can't unhear it. But the way that Mike Crawford talks, like this weird, crazy excitement about fucking guests and shit like that, like it's the highlight of his fucking existence. I'm excited Aiden's coming on my show tonight, but I'm not going to sound breathy and fucking all jazzed up about it. I'm going to give the guy a good fucking interview. Not like, oh, I'm so excited. I couldn't even attempt to pretend to say it however I wanted, because I can never duplicate it. But I watched the first video. You've got to watch it. It's absolutely great. I retweeted it. The first time Nan ever came on a show, and what prompted me to think about this was when Melanie Little was on her fucking massive fucking hammer of a truth journey the other day. God only knows how Nan felt about that one. She was talking about how she got the super chat from her, and she played her reaction. And honestly, like, people who follow us do God's work, because all she had to do was talk about it and somebody found the clip. All I have to do is say, who opened this portal, and somebody sent it to me, right? You guys like make our job so much easier for the benefit of all of our followers. But somebody found the clip for Melanie, And Melanie's like reacting to it. And she goes, you know, was I supposed to invite her as a guest on my show? And I was like, let's go find out when that first one actually fucking happened. Before we do that, let's get a coffee. We are still in the candy cane Quinny era over here. It is going to probably change in February, but I'm over this red scene over here. Also feeling like I want to try something different, but nope, we can't. You know what happened the last time.
I'll be right with you.
Okay. I will not make him relapse. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm going to give him a sophisticated interview. Believe me, I thought about it. I thought about asking him to place the magnets on the H.
Thank you for holding. How can I help you?
Hi, good morning. Can I do a large iced white chocolate pistachio made with whole milk?
All right.
That's all.
You're all set.
Thank you. Like, can you imagine if I cleared the board and held them all up and was like, where do you want me to put this? Right? I can't do that. Emily C will be fucking showing up at my house. She'll fucking slam all of them out of my hand and she'll be like, no. We can't do an exorcism either. We cannot summons the fucking ghost of Nan Gallagher. We can't. You understand what? Do you understand the responsibility on my shoulders with this interview? Do you understand? My whole show is fucking drama. My whole show is shit talking. But don't worry. Your girl has some great ideas. Don't worry. Yes, someday we can do that, Ruby, but we can't now because I don't want Emily C to get mad at me. TM. Nope, we can't. We cannot incorporate Jimmy in there because I'm going to tell you something. That man is strictly looking for a relapse any place he can get it. Oh, I just realized this building in front of me is 6'7". 6'7's everywhere today. Georgia showed me a video of this dog named Josie, and she runs around like crazy, and she was eating cookies in the shape of 6'7". Emily C will come after me, and I don't need the Rainbow Brigade coming at me. She's doing a good job of keeping him in line. It's actually working. You think I want that? You think I want that badge? Oh, Aiden was drama-free for 2 months until he went on Jess Machado's Bunny After Dark, and then it all went down the fucking drain. Nope. No. No. No, the ghost is here already. Oh my God, Ghost of Nan. You stay away from shit tonight. Don't you dare come. Don't. Just so you know, I added a new fucking mod, or I'm going to be doing it this morning. Erica Walsh will be in the fucking chat with the wrench. So all of you fucking ghost hunters, be gone. That's right. Erica motherfucking Walsh. Called in the fucking pros. Not today, Satan. But don't worry. I haven't. Your girl has imagination and creativity. Okay? You know that I put a lot of thought into this. You know that I'm going to bring the laughs. Don't worry. Okay. Give you a hint. No, I want to, of who I am as a person, but I can't. I'm also ready right now. Hold on. What was I talking about? Barry, Manuel. Oh, Mike Crawford. So I watched the Young Jerks interview with Nan Gallagher, and he's doing that really fucking, oh my God, I'm so excited that she's here. It's an unbelievable guest of mine, blah, 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 blah. Nan Gallagher, Esquire. And she's like, hi, Michael, thank you for having me. And he's like, tell us a little bit about yourself, Nan. And she goes the fuck off right? She goes off. She talks longer than he did at the beginning. And then before he even gets to ask her any questions, before she's done talking about herself, she talks about the fucking trolls and the haters right away. Right away. And I'm going, was she really on this fucking shit from day one? And she was. You've got to go back and listen. Go back. It's okay, but it's crazy to go back and listen to her. Hold on. We got to move through this gently here. It's a big ass construction truck in front of me going through the society drive-thru. What kind of beverage are you getting? Good morning. Must be so cold for you guys.
Yeah, my hands kind of hurt.
Poor thing.
I have a space heater, so every time I close the window.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Do you want a straw?
No straw. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. Hi, I see we have a new member. I can't see your name, but thank you so much. Oh, hold on. All these people. We have over 400 members. I thought it was 500 and I looked, and I don't know what I was looking at. Sometimes when I look at YouTube stuff on my phone, it's not the same as my laptop. I'm not really sure. We have over 400 members on this channel, which is amazing. We are less than 700 people away from 10,000 subscribers, which is like fucking amazing. What's going on here? Can we move? No, this isn't good. That sucks. Fuck you guys. God damn it. Why can't I get the same kind of coffee every motherfucking day? Why is every day got to be different? You know, I owned a coffee shop, right? I owned a coffee shop and every single solitary thing was exactly the same every goddamn day. If I couldn't do it the same, we got rid of it. What is going on? Where are all of these cars coming from? There must be something going on somewhere. I am very oddly confused. Lauren, are you in the chat? What's happening? The high school's got so many cars coming out from it. Like I'm feeling overstimulated. All right. So anyway, go back, listen to Mike Crawford's first interview with Cocker Daniel. It's insane. So really, and quite fittingly, the person to blame for all of this is Mike Crawford, Young Jerks. He did this. He opened the door. He took the bait with the super chats. He talks about that. And he took her from being just a fucking lame ass fucking attorney from New Jersey to the notoriety that she carved out for herself in the Free Karen Reed movement and subjected us all to this fucking bullshit. So there's that. Let's talk about, somebody sent me, I don't know if it was Mr. Monk's understudy or one of the parody accounts. It was actually two people. I know Mr. Monk's understudy was one. Two. Jeez. God bless me. Thank you. So there was some discussion on a Spaces yesterday about Grant and the restraining order situation. And so I just want to clear up a couple of things. So somebody was talking about the requirements in order to get the restraining order renewed. And there needed to be like 3 acts or whatever to get it renewed. So I understand that that's a lot of what a lot of people think. So I had my restraining order on Grant granted as an emergency. We came back and had a 2-party hearing. It was supposed to be 10 days later. Grant asked for it to be sooner. And so it was quick. He came down and the judge issued the harassment prevention order. I'm just going to say restraining order because it's easy, but restraining orders only deal with family or relationships. HPOs are for people with no actual connection. So the judge issued the restraining order. I had, I believe, 5 different examples that I entered into evidence on that day, one of which was the video of the interaction with Grant in front of the courthouse. Okay. But but there were other things that I included in my request for an HPO. Okay. That was approved for a year. That came up in May of 2025. And I went back in front of a judge. This is in district court, Fall River District Court, which is where it was out of. Anybody can pull, if they want to, the audio from those hearings, pay for it, or you can get a transcript or whatever. The second hearing, Grant was at the second hearing as well. He attempted to defend himself. I had a different judge, so was not the same judge as the first one. There were no new claims of harassment when I went to get the restraining order renewed for a second year. Nothing new had happened. Had anything new happened, he would have been in violation of the existing order. So I was very clear he had not violated it, but that I needed it to stay in place in order to protect myself. That is what these orders are for. Okay? They're not fun and games. They're not jokes. That order protected me from the behaviors that I actually showed up at the courthouse with the first time. And he takes the restraining order seriously. He abided by it for the most part. The only time there was any connection with Grant is when I showed up at a Karen Reed hearing day. Grant was there and somebody told him I was there, and he didn't take his time leaving, but he eventually left. The restraining order has done its job. It has protected me from Grant Smith Ellis. And there is a reason why I have. Why is there traffic? I'm fucking lost right now. I don't understand. Something going on in my town that I don't know about. I find that hard to fucking believe. And so the restraining order review will be up in May of this year. And I have a decision to make on whether or not I renew it. I believe, based on my interest in following some high profile cases, such as Kelsey Fitzsimmons, the Clancy case, and other cases, including the Karen Reed civil trial, that I protection from interaction with Grant Smith Ellis. And I think it's going to be hard now because everybody kind of has like this fucking thing for Grant. And, you know, people are all feeling love for Grant right now. That will never be the case for me. Never be the case for me. I deserve the absolute right to go and cover a case in a courtroom and not have what happened to me with Grant. Okay. And my fear is that if you let those parameters down, if you get rid of the restraining order, if you let him think that he can act how he wants, I'm going to be putting myself in a position where he's going to misbehave, and then going back to get the order will be, Jesus Christ. Going back to get the order is going to be difficult. My thing is, it doesn't hurt Grant that the order is in place if Grant doesn't violate it. So the only thing it does is it gives me the freedom or the power to be able to go into a courtroom and know that I'm not going to have to be near that man and him do what he does. And I will most likely continue this as long as I feel like I'm going to be covering cases and those things are of an interest to him. Okay, if Grant Smith Ellis all of a sudden is like, I'm never covering a court case and he's not showing up, or his SJC credentials get pulled, then I'm not sure I would have to worry about it. But for now, I think I have the right to say I don't want to deal with that guy and his shit. And I'm going to fucking cover cases when and how I want. Now, one of the things And I'm not throwing people under the bus, but there was some talk about like, other press people were telling me to go and get nobody told me to get the order where it made a decision for me. I went and got the order for myself, but you can bet your ass that there were people in that press box that wanted me to get it and thanked me when I got it. Okay. Just so you know, like nobody else wanted Grant around because they didn't want to be targets of his. So I was never forced to, or nobody told me to. It was never a plan. Like I feel like you guys here know me well enough now to know, like, I was pretty fucked up over that shit. I don't know that guy. He's a fucking weirdo. And I don't want him touching me. And I don't want him fucking talking about me or lying about me or fucking making me feel like he's like, no way. No, I'm all set. So whether a judge agrees and says that I deserve that protection, that's up to the judge. But I've gone in front of a judge 3 times and talked just like this. And the exact same thing has happened every time. If it doesn't happen for him this time, then I have to make a decision. The last thing I was going to say is I actually feel badly for Grant in a lot of ways. It sounds to me like he does not have a stable home environment. His mother is also complete fucking psychopath. And when you have a child like that now as an adult, how much of how he is and what he is can actually be attributed to Wendy Murphy? I would say significant amount. And it sounds to me like this guy never had a shot at life, but he's not my fucking charity case. Okay. He's not. But I felt badly for him. And so I remember one day I said, if there was a day where I wasn't going to be attending court, I would post on my X account, I will not be in court today. And then he would say, well, she's not going to be there, so I can go, right? And there were people that begged me not to do that. Begged. Did not want me to ever announce that I wasn't going to be there. They wanted him to think on any given day I would be there. And so he wouldn't show up. They wanted me to just not say anything. Mean people walk amongst us, just so you know. So anyway, there's that. Oh my God, now there's an ambulance behind me on Riverside Avenue. Like, I don't even... Oh my God, and I have to sneeze again. Oh, shoo. Okay, awesome. All right, so we got the Grant thing out of the way. We got the Nan Mike Crawford thing out of the way. We got the Nick Rocco thing out of the way. We got Daddy coming on the show tonight. I sent him the video, and I was, the promo video that I made. And he's like, I love the song. You would, Aiden Carney. You would. Daddy's home. So I think it's going to be a great interview. So Bunny After Dark starts at 7 p.m. tonight. We're going to start the show with a couple of show and tell unboxing things because the besties have been sending some items to the house. And, I don't know. I've been opening them, but I still should show them. Believe me, I'm as excited when I get them as when I open them on camera, if not more so. I don't have to be concerned about the camera. I can tear through them like a badger and be like, oh my God, what is this? Somebody sent me ceramic beans for my pies. I did spend some time last night Googling, not for tonight's show, because pause off, but how to be more interactive with your audience on YouTube. I feel like we already have great interaction. I feel like it's all right. But like, I was like, is there some, because I thought of a new thing to do with you guys. I can't say it because it won't be this week. It'll be next week or whatever. But like, I was like, is there some other way or something I could do to be more interactive with my audience? And so I Google this, right? And I'm like, you just put into Google how to be interactive with your audience on YouTube. And I'm not kidding you. Like, I do all of it already. Like, I should be running a fucking YouTube clinic on this. I only won't because I haven't been doing it long enough, but like eventually I will probably do this. But like all of the things that were listed that they were making such a big deal out of it, I've been doing organically. Like nobody ever had to fucking teach me how to do this. Like engage with your audience, look in the chat. Like what? I'm obsessed with my chat. What do you mean? I can't get enough of my chat. I can't get enough of my interaction with people. Like it's just, so I was watching that and I was watching this YouTube video on how to create engagement. And I was just like, psh, I don't see give them a nickname listed. I gave my followers names. This is a very unique, I recognize this, whether it's myself or Jimmy or Ada, there's a very unique thing here. Many times in any tutorial that I've read or watched about becoming a YouTube creator, it is about like building a niche and, cultivating an audience, and you start off with a couple. I don't know. I didn't have that problem. I started off with a bunch of viewers right away. And I think what's missing is find something of interest, right? And then attach yourself to it. And then I was like, oh, that's Brian LTL. He's actually going and Googling how to become a YouTube superstar. And it's like, find something interesting and attach yourself to it. He did it with BMWs. He did it with watches. He did it with Karen Reed and true crime. So like, it's not authentic. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's very interesting. The world of YouTube is extremely interesting. Good morning, Murder Mittens. Another good name. Another good name. I will say, and I screen grabbed it because I thought it was important. There was a very comprehensive YouTube situation I was reading about how to be successful with YouTube. And like there was a whole thing about authenticity and how those people often end up having the most success on YouTube. I practically just shut the laptop. I was like, yep, we're good. We're good. We got this. We got it. Good morning, Central Mass 508. 508. Aiden's got great songs. They fucking slap. When that song starts, when his show comes on, I'm just like, I really enjoy this song. It's like I could listen to the song and then not watch the show. Of course I do. I was in the chat last night for a little bit, and then I had to do a political situation last night, so I didn't get to stay on. So I will try to catch the replay. Every day I drive down to the water, and usually, I go down there and I will talk to you guys and read comments, but it looks too slippery for me. I don't want to slide into the water, so I skip it. I keep going by and taking a look and peeking down, and it doesn't look okay. So no, thank you. Supposedly we're supposed to get a huge ass fucking snowstorm this weekend, and it looks like we dodged the bullet as of early this morning. I'm not sure. If we do get a snowstorm, I would ask you, Sky Daddy, for it to start at like noon on Sunday, please. Thank you so much. Also, was I not right about this Victoria Beckham situation and what's going on? I don't know who to believe, but the Victoria Posh Spice supporters have come out and are going absolutely crazy. Now my algorithm on Instagram is flooded with videos and things about these people. I can't get on Instagram now It's the whole thing. Somebody release the wedding video. Please. Just do. You have a service to the fucking world to release the video of Victoria Beckham dancing on Brooklyn Beckham. I need to know what he means by on, because that's what he said. His mother was dancing provocatively on him, not near him, with him, on him. So I need to know what in his mind means on, and I need to see the visual representative of what this is supposed to be about. I don't know what we're talking about here. Currently, right now, some old videos have resurfaced of them on like a red carpet, and Posh Spice is not being accommodating or nice to Brooklyn and his wife. I've seen that. I'm going with that. God damn it, this phone today. What the actual you're on the floor. And I'm pulling you up like a fish in the Arctic on your wire. Jeez, you don't deserve that. You guys okay? Cyber Chick had Bay Harbor Beauty on her show last night. And her sisters. Cyber Chick sisters. There's the 4 of them. You guys okay? Ben Rosa, you have a show tonight. Can you tell everybody what time and where, please? Thank you. So our show is at 7. We're going to start with some basic fun stuff. Listen, I invited Kane back, and I couldn't cancel on this man if I tried. He's so excited. He is like a good puppy. He literally said, I wouldn't miss it. And this man has been following all of this Karen Reed drama shit, and he's like asking me questions about certain people and things like that. So tonight, and Kane has been doing work, okay? He's been paying attention. He knows he's Karen Reed adjacent because he's a Minifan, and Nurse Kim was on Kirk Minahan's show, so people know who Nurse Kim is on the Minifan network. And so basically at this point, what's going to happen is I am going to force Kane to do the Horizon social chart. I know you want Fridge Daddy to do it. No. We can't do that to him. And I swear to God, if Jimmy shows up at my house to try to get me to entice Aiden to do it, we shut it down. So we're going to have Kane do the Horizon social chart. I think that might be fun. I think that would be fun. Again, we want him to come and revisit and whatever. Maybe we'll check in on isolation year Skip, see how that's going. And then we have another fun thing I want to do and talk about with you. And then we have Aiden will come on around 9 p.m. Okay? Okay. Every day I get a notification from the United States Post Office about what I am receiving in the mail. You can do this too. It is called Informed Delivery or something like that. And you can sign up. And in the morning, when your local post office scans your mail into its system from wherever it's coming from, you get a photo of what they scanned in. Well, yesterday morning, I got a scan. I opened it, and it showed that a card was in the mail from, I don't know, the Ghost of Lothario or something like that was up in the corner, had my name on it. So I was so excited, and I was waiting for it. As I left yesterday to go pick up Georgia, I drove past the mailman, and I saw it was a mail. And you all know my mail lady is a lady. And so I figured out this guy must be a fill-in. She must be on vacation. I almost fucking stopped the car and said, hey, my mailbox is on the back fence. This happens all the time when somebody's on vacation. They don't know where the mailbox is. We don't use the front door. We don't have an actual mailbox like on the ground. We have a fence, and on the back fence, the mailbox is, I didn't pick this. People who lived here before me picked this. And we can't change it, right? Without a big hoopla. So it's in the back fence. And I said, no, he'll figure it out. Or if he can't find it, he'll just come knock on the door, right? I'll be home. And Jack is home and whatever. And don't you know that this person never delivered the mail yesterday? He basically just gave the fuck up. Didn't call anybody, didn't knock on a door, didn't get out of his truck. He just fucking never dropped off the mail. And I am bullshit, because when I see something in my mail that is like, looks like fun and exciting, I want it. And this guy didn't deliver it. So today I'm going to have to now stalk the fucking mail guy and ensure that the mail comes to my house so I can get whatever this is from the ghost of Nan in my home. I need it. I would like it. Are the trolls here already? So yeah, I'm mad at the mail guy. Like, just do your jobby job. You're a federal employee, for fuck's sake. So anyway, I have to stalk the mail guy. Nope. I made sure Mr. Jeffrey Machado definitely dug a path to the mailbox. When I went to get the mail to see if it had come, the mail from the day before was there. And I'm assuming my mail actually got delivered on the snow day. I don't know. We didn't go out there. Do you know what my husband went and got? My husband got a Venmo debit card because you people are Venmoing him money. And so I see this thing in the mail and it's like Venmo debit card, Jeff Machado. And I'm going, what is this? So I bring it in the house and I go, did you get a Venmo debit card? And he starts like laughing like he does. And I'm like, what? For what? And he said, I get Venmos. And I was like, I know, for your birthday, right? And he's like, no, they send me Venmos. And I went, how much money do you have in your account? So for his birthday, you guys went and sent him a bunch of cash and he Venmoed it to me and I took it out and I gave it to him at the casino for his trip. And he's never asked me to do that again. And, you know, occasionally I'll see a comment like, I sent Jeff a Venmo or whatever. The man has $200 in his Venmo account from you people. Don't. He went and got a debit card. There's something beeping outside this car and it's driving me nuts. It's the air. Somebody used the air to fill up their tires and it's just beeping. Ugh. My kids have Venmo cards because that was a good starting point for them. Like when I would give them money, they could use it wherever they went. You know what I mean? But like Jeff is super paranoid about like connecting Venmo to bank accounts and stuff like that. His debit card has been compromised, I would say 3 times in the past 2 years. They're actually making straight duplicate cards of his and going to ATMs and taking out cash. And I am 100% convinced that it is because of the store that I am right in front of right now, that this corner store, these people were taking card numbers here and making cards. I'm just 100% positive. There's some shady shit going on at the store. And I'm really fucking tired of these people from outside our country buying these corner stores where we're the most comfortable, where we're getting our basic fucking needs. And we don't know these people. We don't know where they're from. We don't know who owns them. The people who are in here don't own them. They don't speak our language. And I feel like that's where these cards are getting compromised, because I literally talked to my husband and I was like, I want to know the last fucking places you have used your card. And the only fucking place my husband had been using his card was here. Because my husband is so paranoid about the last time, he will go and he will take out cash and he will use cash. But here, he will use it for cigarettes or like a Celsius, not even gas. And I was like, this is the only place you've been using this fucking card. And then don't you know, like they had some sort of a scandal here where they had like one of their employees quote unquote, stole a bunch of fucking lottery tickets. Lies. This place has more goddamn cameras in it than the fucking Capitol. You mean to tell me that for 7 months you had an employee that was stealing tens of thousands of dollars of fucking lottery tickets? You're liars. You were stealing them yourselves. And then you say you had an employee steal, and then that employee is somehow gone now and you can't find him. He left the country. It's a fucking scam. They also have a goddamn Bitcoin machine here. Who the fuck is putting money in Bitcoin machines? I know elderly people who are getting scammed. My kid or me, nobody. We're not going in and putting cash into a Bitcoin machine. We're buying our fucking Bitcoin through fucking the Robinhood app like a regular person. And these goddamn machines take the cash in, and as soon as the cash comes in, somebody fucking shows up within a half hour and takes the cash fucking out, and it's gone. It's a scam. These fucking machines should be outlawed. Nobody is doing business on a Bitcoin machine. Nobody. I hate this place. I hate this store. I hate that these people own every single one of these stores. There's nobody we know. There's no local. And you know what? Bless the fucking people who built these corner stores and then sold them for a mint and like, are rich now. You put in the hard work, work in this fucking shitty corner store your whole life. Great. Good for you. But bad for us. Bad for everybody. Do you know one time I sent Georgia in here a couple of years ago to get milk, and I sent her in with the $20 bill, and she came out and the change was minus a $10 bill, and she came out and I was like, where's the 10? And I walked in, I said, give my fucking kid her $10. He goes, oh, no, you did not make a mistake. You saw a little fucking kid come in and buy a gallon of milk and you scammed her of 10 fucking dollars. Fuck you people. Bitcoin machines are the biggest motherfucking scam in the world. We had it happen in Somerset. We had an old lady or old man who was told to go to the Bitcoin machine and start putting in fucking $10,000. Who the fuck does that? And then within fucking minutes of the Bitcoin machine getting the cash, I don't know where they come from. Somebody comes and takes the fucking money and it's gone. I'm just really tired of it because the corner store is peak Americana. The corner store is where I was a little kid and was safe to go up and walk and get my mother a pack of fucking Marlboro Lights, okay? She'd give me money and she'd go, here, go get me cigarettes. And the lady would just hand me fucking cigarettes and I'd walk back home, okay? Or if I didn't know, I'm from Fall River. I know this is very niche, but IGA was the store on Robeson Street. We lived right behind it. We would walk to IGA. And sometimes if we needed to talk to my mom and they didn't have what we wanted, Roger behind the fucking meat counter would let me go use the phone and I could call my mom. My kids do come here, right? My kids do come here. But what happens when my kids come here when they were little? The first thing they see is fucking Monster Energy drinks, Red Bulls, vapes, glass pipes. It's a fucking disaster, these places. I can't fucking stand them. I hate everything about them. Everything. And by the way, I know for a fact this particular store, the people who own this don't live in state. And it's just, I'm just fucking over it. I'm over it. I hate it. And it's not racist. I don't care. 98% of the town of Somerset is white. Okay? And all the corner stores are owned by people that don't speak English. It's about I don't want bring back the regular corner store. Why are towns allowing I don't care. Why are we allowing glass pipes and weed paraphernalia to be sold in a corner store? Why are we allowing THC? You can buy weed and all of this shit everywhere. These stores are a gateway to all of the problems your teenagers have. I'm just over it. I wish a very, very wealthy person like Elon Musk would buy all of these things, buy all the corner stores and then sell them for the cheap to a regular fucking husband and wife with a couple kids and let them start over. Like, where's the reset button on this shit? I get it. This is where you go for your vices. This is my husband's favorite fucking store. Okay. I 100% agree. However, it's convenient for my husband, but if my husband needed to or wanted to, he could go to another location and get all those things. Corner stores should not be this. I just don't think this is what they should be. I'm so annoyed. Ugh. I haven't been to Steve Carell's general store. I have heard about it. And apparently you can get weed at the courthouse. Why don't you and Jeff open a corner store? I'm generalizing. Okay. Well, I am only speaking about my own experience. How about that? In Somerset. So let me think about this. So this store is one that is owned by people that speak well, back it up. This store is owned, I don't even know how to say this. What's the best way to say it to not generalize? You know what I'm talking about. Like, don't cancel culture me. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know where these people live. They don't live in my town. Their owners aren't even from this state. Corner stores are owned. This corner store is owned by someone who lives, I'm told, not here. I said, where? And he said, Florida. And then I said, Florida. And he goes, outside the country. So it's like a corporation or whatever. Like, it's not owned by anybody with a local vested interest. Now, that's fine. It's not like Dollar Tree that has like a national corporation or Delkin or whatever. But these corner stores are supposed to be more intimate. It's different. And when you walk in, it's just, I remember, like, I'm not a prude when it comes to weed, okay? I am, but I'm not. You know, all of these glass pipes and things like that, like in the corner store, like, why are we allowing that? That is clearly being used for drug paraphernalia, for weed. Go buy it at the goddamn weed store where it's heavily regulated. You can walk into Solar here in Somerset and they sell glass pipes. Why are we selling it at the corner store where you should be able to send your kid in to go get a gallon of milk? I know weed is not a drug. You get what I'm saying. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I completely understand weed is not a drug. I still don't think like smoking weed is a good idea. Okay? I just don't. And I don't care whether people agree with me or not. It's so crazy. But like, why should I say I think it's okay if you have to alter your brain chemistry every day with a substance to like cope or get by with life? Why is that bad? You hear me all the time, like, we raw dog life. Like, is it no different than having a couple glasses of wine or I don't do that. I understand that there are people that do. I'm not judging you and saying you shouldn't. What I'm saying is, for me and my life, I don't ever want to be looking forward to consuming a substance that is going to bring me relief. That sounds like a very dangerous thing for my life. It is not about whether weed is a drug, whether it's like cocaine, whether it's alcohol, whether it's pills. All I'm saying is that I personally have been trying very hard to teach my children that a substance can alter you temporarily, and that That is okay if you are in a party mode or vacation mode, but on a day-to-day existence, I would really prefer that you handle life without any substances. That's my take. I don't ever want to be controlled by something. I've got to go and get this. I need that. My husband smokes cigarettes every single solitary day of his life. It started when he went into the army. He has never quit. He has never wanted to quit. My husband is at the whim of nicotine every single solitary day. I don't judge him. I've never, ever gave him a problem about it. He just can't smoke in my house. I prefer he don't smoke in the car when I'm in the car, but that goes out the window on the weekends. Like, I'm not saying my husband's an asshole. I'm not saying my husband's a loser. I'm not saying any of that shit. I prefer my husband not be addicted to nicotine. That would be great. That's not me being judgmental. It's just, I just don't want my children to be dependent on anything, or when life gets really, really, really hard, which it will get really fucking hard, that rather than tackling the problem head on, you say, you know what, I think I'm going to go and get high because I can't handle this right now. Let me go get high and come back. Like, no. There are a lot of ways to like deal with stress and things in life. And I make no excuses about that. For a long time, I've been told I'm a fucking bitch and a loser for that. I don't care. I'm not judging anybody who does it. I live with my husband every day. That's how he chooses to live his life. I choose not to do it. And if I have influence over 3 other human beings, I am influencing them to not do it that way. And that's it. So far, so fucking good. We dodged a bullet with Georgia. I think we're in the clear. Everyone can have their own opinion. I'm going to read all of yours for a second and let me see. Some people need certain drugs for their mental and their physical. Money is a drug, so y'all that get high from spending it are no differently. The legal weed industry is incredibly regulated. I think it's more regulated than it actually needs to be. Yeah, I agree with that. Some people need certain drugs for their mental or physical. I agree. I'm not judging anybody. I just, as you know, I have my own opinions. I knew this would be kind of like a hot topic for people. I also like, I hope people aren't coming off like I am like judging them at all. Like, I'm not. I also know that I have like within my family, especially on my father's side, like my father died from my father was an alcoholic, which he kept pretty much in control for a long time. And then towards the end of his life, that was his actual cause of death, was cirrhosis. And so my father was also a real degenerate gambler. We're talking, uh, big, big money. And I think my father, I don't really know, but my father just had a very addictive personality. And I think with his PTSD from Vietnam and all of those things, it just was exasperated really badly. And so I always am like cognizant of that. You know what I mean? I think I'm always like one bad event away from possibly being that way. So I don't judge people. I'm just saying, like, this is how I currently exist at 49 years old. Like, I choose not to get high because I don't like how I feel, out of control. I even when I was a drinker, I did not drink in excess at all. I was never the drunk one. I was always the driver. That's me. That's always how I've been in real life. Like, um, it takes a lot for me to relax. Relax. It's all rooted in my fucking situation where I feel like I have to be responsible for so many people in my life. I can't let go. That's why I told you when I'm on vacation, occasionally I will like be able to really, really relax. And then I will definitely drink. I will definitely take a gummy or two, like definitely relax. I just can't live my life like that every day, unfortunately. I also have maintained that because I have watched a lot of Intervention. Remember that show that was on all the time? Almost every single solitary episode of Intervention started with the addict and then went backwards and told you the story of how they got there. And it was trauma. And I recognize that, like, the loss of a child or the sudden death of a person and the pain of loss can be a real trigger for using substances. And I don't even want to speak it, but like, should something like that ever happen to me, I who knows how I deal with my pain? I have no idea. You know what I mean? So I also like reserve the right to say, like, it could be something like that too. You know what I mean? Where somebody like really just can't cope. No judging. I just want to make sure everybody understands. I am married to a person that uses like substances like nicotine, caffeine, and before, I'm using before in quotation marks, weed, to cope with his every day-to-day life. And I find that is completely reasonable for my husband. That is what my husband needs to wake up every day and regulate himself. And I am 100% okay with him choosing to do that. I would like to raise my children in a way that they can find other ways to handle problems before they choose those things. But my husband did not grow up in a household like that. And, alcohol was a big thing for Portuguese families. And so my husband's first path of escape from pain or stress was probably, like drinking at a young age. And so he didn't really stand a chance. You know what I mean? And to be quite honest with you, and I don't want to talk about my husband's family at all, but my husband is the only one that hasn't struggled with addiction. I think if I'm going through the list of like aged children, he's actually, you know, not suffered from anything like that. Um, if I'm thinking about that, I have to think about that. But so, oh my God, did somebody just say kratom? No, no. No, 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 no. Okay, May, Miss Divine. Did you see I wrote a story about that? Feel free. Stay the fuck away from that shit. That, to me, that is equally as scary as fucking heroin or fentanyl. I'm not kidding you. I wrote a whole story about this. I did a whole thing on this. Kratom, or however you say it, is absolutely crazy. Don't touch that. You've reported 2 stories. I like literally did a whole thing. I wrote an article probably a couple of months ago where I went to a bunch of different stores in Somerset and Fall River and walked in and purchased it. Nobody carded me. Nobody asked anything. It is so fucking dangerous. It's so bad. And it is, it's all tied to a company that is producing it in the United States. If you guys are not following the main wire, You must follow the main wire. Steve Robinson is the editor, main guy at Main Wire. He started off himself, and now he is bringing on some additional people. He asked me to work for him, and I would like to continue to be the degenerate, independent person I am here. But All Politics is Local John Featherston is now reporting for Main Wire. Tom Shattuck, or I don't know how you say it, but he is also working for Main Wire. And Steve is just doing some real serious investigative work. By the way, speaking of Tom, he does a thing called Burn Barrel Podcast. I was a guest on that. I will try to resurrect that and reshare it for all of you. He and his wife, Alice, are conservatives. They've been doing podcasting for a while. Tom was a guest fill-in host on Howie Carr yesterday or the other day. And I am so, this is the kind of stuff that, like, you know, some people will say, like, you know, you were so jealous because Mike Crawford was on Howie Carr and you got fired. No, I had a problem with Mike Crawford being on Howie Carr because Mike Crawford is a raging fucking liberal who shits all over the president of the United States. And if Howie Carr is President Trump's friend in Mar-a-Lago and Howie Carr is a pro-Trump supporter, there was no way a gross fucking liberal like Mike Crawford should ever, ever, ever touch the microphone in the Howie Carr studio. But because Howie Carr's wife likes to fucking go and get the views the easy way, instead of cultivating people and giving them an environment to thrive into, she wants to just go subcontract it out for fucking views. And Mike Crawford thought he fit that bill. He didn't. He's a loser. And so Mike Crawford was filling in and it fucking bothered me. Not because I got fired, because I care about the fucking party. I care about conservatives in Massachusetts. And Mike Crawford, in any subtle way, could have undermined that. Tom now being a fill-in, I shared it. I'm thrilled. Give Tom the platform. Let him talk. I trust that every thought that comes out of his mouth is backed up by heart and like a deep care about being a conservative in Massachusetts. So it had nothing to do with my jealousy. I'm not jealous at all. I'm much happier, and I could never see that then. I see it and feel it now, being on my own and doing my own thing. I'm too big for Howie Carr as a fill-in. I could never go back there. That's like below me now at this point. But well, I shouldn't have said it that way because I don't want it to sound like Tom is below me. That's not the case. But in my opinion, I can't go backwards to that. I was there and I've moved on and up. I don't know where Tom is in his career, or if this is like a good thing for him or whatever. It's a service to the state. It's a service to the Howie Carr viewers, I can tell you that. But Tom is a great person to fill in. I didn't get a chance to listen. I am sure it was fantastic. I am sure he was great, but he is a great person. Interestingly enough, though, he's a fill-in there, and there were some issues with Steve Robinson and the Cars. He used to work for them. So Tom working for both of them is kind of interesting, but I digress. Tom's great. All right, let's see. Who did I piss off today? I'm sure a lot of people. This coffee is not good. All right, what time is it? I have absolutely no idea because my phone is in this weird stage because I dropped you on the ground. Hold on, let's take a peek. We're not going to spend a long time on here today because we have a show tonight. I have to prepare for that. What time is it? Hold on, let's see. Oh, 8:47. Oh my God. Can you imagine if we get this done before 9 o'clock? I quite honestly have some bills to pay. I don't know what time I get paid. I don't know. I'm not used to this thing, so I'm going to have to go in and look. I have some bills I need to pay, and I'm looking forward to doing that. Famous last words. I swear to you, I actually have to prepare a little bit for my show tonight. There's actually something I need to actually do. TT wants nuggets. I'm going to send TT $100. just for being TT. It's payday, but also I very thankful to the person that messaged me. I don't know if they're listening this morning. I think they might be, but they are a YouTube creator with a pretty substantial channel. Had nothing to do with Karen Reed or anything. I'm not sure who you guys like. I don't think you know who they are, but they messaged me. And it was a very, not a big wake up call, but like about the taxes in regards to YouTube. And they explained to me about how they had a very successful year. Obviously, I'm always very aware of the taxes, but I haven't made enough of money for it to be that. I mean, when you got to pay out for like $400, like, you know what I mean? I'm not worried about the taxes on that. And even just the payout for November and December wasn't anything to write home about. This one is a little different. And so, you know, she told me how she went to do her taxes and she almost died, that she had to pay thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars in taxes. And it scared the living daylights out of me. So in my mind, I already, you know, I don't know what it's going to be like. I have no idea. Is it 20%, 25%, 30%? I don't really know. But I can tell you that a $10,000 payout is actually $6,600 for me, because I put allocated a significant chunk off to the side because I'm scared and I don't know what that's going to look like. I have no idea. You know what I mean? I guess I could talk to Aiden. Doesn't talk about money. Maybe Jimmy could give me a little bit of pointers on it. I don't really know. I don't know what that looks like. You know what I mean? So going forward, I'm not that worried about last year because there was just nothing there. You know what I mean? It was nothing. 30%. Yeah. So I would say 30% as well. Let's see. Make quarterly estimated tax payments. I would take 25% from every payout and make an estimated payout. So it's kind of funny. Somebody's saying 40% too. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, I remember the day that I like saw the final number, right, for December, and I was like, oh my God. And then I'm not kidding. Like, I talked about it like with all of you guys. And then like this person messaged me and was just like, hi, like, you don't know me, but I don't want what happened to me happen to you. And it scared the shit out of me. And I'm not saying that I'm not as excited, but it's a big difference. You know what I mean? It's a big chunk of money. And so I'm scared about that. I also feel like the best thing for me to do is to talk about it, because then people will text me and people will email me and give me advice. And honestly, if it weren't for that woman, I'm not sure I would have, you know, and I've definitely obviously thought about the tax portion of it, but like the story she told me, and I don't know if it's similar to mine. There's some other things that are involved. But I was like, oh my God, like, okay, that sounds traumatic. Oh my God, Cyber Chick, we can win it back at the casino. No worries. Trust me. No, it's the opposite. Whenever I get like money like that, like I don't want to go to a casino. I feel like, no, thank you. I'm good. I'm sure Jeff will want to do that at some point, but no thanks. I'm very excited to just pay a bunch of fucking bills. I can't wait to get in front of my laptop and just start paying shit. It's so exciting. I do actually keep receipts for everything. I'm not kidding you. Apparently, I can write off a lot of things. Also, I'm going to share something else with you guys. Hold on. mileage, my coffee in the morning. It's all part of my content. Thank you. Oh, it's people in court. Guys, I didn't know you since you're commenting, that's the person that messaged me about it. Well, I already had done some work and feeling pretty confident. I know someone in town that has a business, and so from their home, I actually do have to change that and register my business out of my house, I guess, because I did have the studio up until, oh, technically I still have some things there. So until until that last item is out, but I have to change my address. But I already had a grasp about like the home business kinds of things like that. But there's a lot of stuff that I see that can qualify for writing off. Anyway, we're going to get off of this because we definitely consider an accountant. Somebody said, any computer upgrade I buy is a tax write-off. Thanks. I'm trying to read these. They're going fast. I'm on with TT. She is ready for you. Nope. No field trips. We may take Georgia to Boot Barn when she gets out of school today. Don't take tax advice on here. I know. Believe me, I'm new to it, but there's enough of scary stories out there where it got my attention. That's for sure. Oh, Caroline is saying it. See? Yes. Oh, VP. I'm reading the one above it. But JD Vance and Usher are having a baby. Usha are having a baby. I'm so excited for that. I'm just so excited. So I was up late last night. And so I had been thinking about this for a while, and I did some basic outlining and legwork about writing a book about my experience covering the Karen Reed trials. And it had been suggested to me by my friend Anthony Amore. And Anthony has written many books, and he was like, you have such like an opportunity to write a book about your experience covering this. And I thought about it, and I pulled up an old like outline draft that I had been working on. And yes, YouTube sends a 1099. Bye, Jen. Have a good day. Is Anthony very active on X? He was trying to be. He was trying to be. I know some people are saying that there was somebody sent me a recent screenshot of Mike Crawford saying that he wanted Anthony to come on his show, and Anthony saying yes. Like, there's a little bit of like a situation there. I'm not going to really get into that. Maybe catch me on an off day and maybe I'll talk about that, but I don't think I want to talk about it today. Let's just say that well, just to button that up, Anthony Amore was a guest on Young Jerks when he was running for state auditor back in 2022. So there's a professional relationship there going back a while. It's Anthony Amore. He's a friend of mine. I shared maybe last fall that we were going to cover the Walsh case together. I ended up not covering it, and I don't think he did either. I'm just reading comments. All right, a lot of tax chat going on in here, and I'm not saying it's not good. It's just I can't follow it because it looks like people are having. Your neighbor is an author. She writes in the middle of the night. So anyway, last night I went up and I pulled out basically it's the structure that I had already put together for a book, and like the style of the book, what the perspective was going to be. It's obviously nonfiction. And then, but like the chapters, the characters, each one of the, you know, kind of tentacles of the interactions I had, and then also from like a independent journalist perspective. And, you know, I still maintain it's extremely unique for independent journalists like myself and Aiden to be covering a big murder trial. That's not a frequent thing. You know what I mean? And so anyway, I pulled that out and I started looking, and I think I might just revisit that. I think it might be like a great summer project. You know, once the weather hits, you know what I mean? Like, I think that might be something that I might do. I did find a literary agent and someone that I made a connection with. I'm going to call them back and I'm just going to see what this would look like. You're an author. You have written 15 books. Self-published? Well, I don't think we're going to write one about childhood trauma. I was going to write one from the perspective of an independent journalist at like my age and, you know, no formal training, and like my experience covering like a big murder trial. And, but like also there's a lot of stuff there. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of interesting things. I mean, my anticipation is it'll take a long time, right? You're saying like yeah, I can see it's going to take a long, long time. Wow. Everybody should just go write a book. Who cares? Just do it. Good for you guys. If Yellow Cottage Tales can write a book, I mean, no. Although I feel like nothing in my book would be surprising to any of you. You'd be like, I heard this bitch talk about this 5,000 times on 24 on 24. Do you know what I mean? I sincerely feel like you guys would be like, this is the same shit we talk about every day. All right. Jack is not 100% for those who are wondering. He went to the doctor yesterday because he was going to need a note for missing work because we didn't want to go to urgent care. We got into his regular PCP and he was like, he most likely had the flu. It's not testing positive for it, but he's not 100%. He's kind of wobbly and his stomach has like still like this pain in it, which obviously is because he was really sick. And he doesn't want to go to work. He doesn't want to go and bust food at Chili's. He hasn't eaten a solid meal in like 5 days. He's lost 9 pounds. He is like, I'm all set. So his doctor took him out of work until Saturday. He has a shift on Saturday. And I think the doctor really would have actually kept him out on the Saturday, but Jack said, no, I want to work the Saturday shift. He can't work. This is the worst thing for him, although like between you and the 3,100 people that are listening to this across 4 platforms, I'm okay with this little bit of adversity that occurred. Okay. So Jack took off last weekend because he was going to go out to dinner back to Chili's on Friday night for his friend Johnny's birthday. And then they were going bowling afterwards. And then on Saturday, he was supposed to go with all of his friends to Dave and Buster's for their other friend's birthday. And then on Sunday, he was supposed to go watch the Patriots with his dad and at his dad's house with Georgia. And then tonight, his girlfriend bought him tickets to go to his first Celtics game. And he could not do any of those things, including the game tonight. And there was no, when I say I'm excited for him to have this adversity, I'm not happy that he's missing these things. Okay. However, because I feel like my children very rarely face adversity, sometimes there's a lesson there to be learned that, you can't control when things go wrong. You can't control getting sick. You can't control changes in plans. And so, like, I watched him work through in real time, being very upset that he couldn't go out. He went to dinner on Friday night and he was already not feeling great. He never made it to the bowling. He came home. But that was a good opportunity for him to like self-regulate and be responsible and like, I've got to come home. You know what I mean? And then he missed the Saturday night thing and he was really bummed about that. And I feel very bad for him. He was really, really upset Saturday morning, but then he got really sick. So he like didn't lament on that too much. And then tonight they have tickets for this game. And it's also like an opportunity to work through what to do in this situation. So what are your options? Does the girlfriend go with her girlfriend and then they get tickets later? Do they sell the tickets and put them up on StubHub? Does he go to the game? And, Jeff interjected with that and was like, dude, it's your first Celtics game. You can't hear out of one ear and you haven't eaten any food. You're going to be walking. You're going on the subway. Like, the answer is do not do this. And so that tipped the scales for Jack. So he was like, no. His girlfriend bought him the tickets. So he's letting her decide if she wants to go to the game. She can go with her friend. They can put him up on StubHub. I went in and I said, listen, I was like, I will buy you guys 2 new tickets, which is so crazy. But like, I normally would never be able to do that. But I said, when you're feeling better, pick a day and I will buy the tickets for you. You know what I mean? If she doesn't sell them. Like, I don't want him to miss the opportunity. But I also unfortunately, this is how life can be sometimes, So it sucks. But I'm also trying to teach him about like caring for his body and not pushing himself. And I say going to the game tonight would be a big fucking disaster for him. Also, like, you want to go and get excited. You want to be like yelling and cheering. Like, he walked downstairs to the shower yesterday and he came into the kitchen and he was just like, I am tired from my shower. And I was like, yeah, dude. Go to bed. You're not 100%. If it was COVID, maybe it was COVID. You know what I mean? Like, he's taking a beating. So anyway, no game tonight. Sucks. Give the tickets to Jeff and Jess. I would not want to be in a location like that right now during flu season. I don't know why, knock on wood, I have dodged every cold that has come into this house. And I do not want to be around people right now. Did Georgia get the job? I don't think so. She did not call them on Monday because it was a holiday. Yesterday, they did not call her. So today, when I pick her up, we've already made the determination that she needs to call them. We have to really evaluate what is happening in these interviews where Georgia is not getting the job. And I personally believe she is a nervous wreck. I'm not in there, so I can't tell. but I feel like she is very nervous, short answered, and she is not making a good first impression. Georgia is just a very nervous girl. She's confident. And to be quite honest, the irony of this, she is a harder worker than Jack and Julia put together. She is, look what she does at Bristol Aggie. She cleans fish tanks and animal tanks. She gets dirty. She will do anything. I mean, I don't even have to ask Georgia, and she carries the groceries in. Like, she is the hardest worker of the other two. But there is some disconnect that is happening when she is interviewing that I think is making her like someone that they quickly pass over. And I also have to be very careful with how I say that to her so that it doesn't come off as like criticism. You have a job interview today, Ben? Let's fucking go. Yes. Good luck. She interviewed at Sonic. And so she is only 16. She will be 17. There was a little bit of a bad timing. She went and applied at Dunkin' Donuts, and like they literally had just hired a bunch of 16-year-olds. We do practice questions. Like, I told her to slow down, talk a little bit more about what she does, say things like, I'm not afraid to get dirty. At school, I am responsible for A, B, and C. She's just nervous. And I will also say, listen, I didn't take this that seriously at first. If Georgia chose to go into a job interview with jeans and a sweatshirt on from school, right? Georgia has such a carefree attitude about it. I was like, Georgia, maybe you need to dress a little differently. And she goes, I'm just going to tell them I just came from Bristol Aggie. I came from school. In her mind, she thought that showed something. It showed grit. Like, I'm here right after school and I look like this because I was just working really hard at my agricultural school. I gave some honest feedback to her. I said, let's mix it up. And when she went to do the Sonic interview, she looked like $1,000,000. She wore her really brand new Wrangler jeans, her brand new cowboy boots. She had on a great black long sleeve shirt with some good jewelry. She didn't wear her eyelashes that she puts in. She looked very wholesome. And I didn't like make a big deal out of it, but I was kind of like, maybe this would make a difference. And they didn't fucking call her back. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So now in her mind, she's probably going, it doesn't matter what I look like. They're not hiring her. I'm going to be honest with you. This is my take right now that I'll share with you guys and never with her. A fucking 16-year-old kid in Massachusetts who wants to get a fucking job working should get a job working. This kid wants to fucking work. She wants a job. She wants her money, and she can't get a goddamn job. And that is fucking nuts to me. Nuts. I think about it like I think about Walgreens over here. Okay, I think about the store I worked in Pennsylvania when I got my first job, Thrift Drug. There were so many employees working at one time that I worked in the beauty department. You know what I mean? I go up to this Walgreens at the top of the street from my house. There's 2 fucking people here. There's 2 people working. There's nobody working. Like, they don't have enough of employees. We have done mock interviews. I've asked her questions. Like, and this is her 3rd interview, by the way. And also the girl that interviewed her was like her age or a little bit older than her. I don't really know what's going on here. I didn't even want her to work in the food industry. Georgia got a job at 14. Jack was working. He had just gotten a job at the restaurant that he was in. Julia obviously was in college, but she was working in the restaurant industry. So Georgia wanted to get ahead and she wanted a job as well. The local pizza place right down the street from me, excellent pizza, hired this kid right off the street. She walked in because it's well known in town that kids in town can go get jobs there, right? And they pay cash under the table and you go in there or whatever. It was pretty traumatic for Georgia. This kid was 14 years old. I thought she was going to be prepping salads and shit. The guy had her work in the fryolator and opening fucking 5-gallon cans of like red peppers and cut herself. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And she was so stressed out that finally I was like, babe, like, this is not worth it. It was I'm not going to say I fumbled it, but every part about that job seemed like a good idea, with the exception of the fact is we didn't know anybody else that worked there. I mean, it's fucking Frank. Like you call excellent pizza. Like we were like, yeah, go work there. That's great. Right near the house. She walked to work one day, like totally great. The kid was so traumatized by it. She was like, I don't want to work for a while. And we were like, why? And she told me some of the things that were happening in there. And I was like, I was sending my kid to a fucking sweatshop and I didn't even know. So I was okay with when she turned 16, taking a little bit of break. So she turned 16 in April of last year. So I was like, it's okay. But by the fall, she started applying for jobs and has been consistently applying since September and has not gotten one. I can't believe fucking Target won't hire my kid. The place is a fucking shit show. There's clothes all over the place and they won't hire my kid. I do have a friend that sent me a message about a job, my friend Jen, and we'll see. I'm going to message her, but it's a seasonal job and so she wouldn't be able to work yet. Interestingly enough, that girl Jen lived across the street from me growing up, and she messaged me yesterday after my Dr. Phil show that I put on myself yesterday, talking about my childhood. And she was like, I remember your stepfather being like that. And as soon as she sent the message, I responded. I was like, I swear to God, I thought that you could see and hear what was happening from your house. She lived across the street, and I always felt like Jen could see and hear it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, when you're a kid, like you think like, I used to think people in the neighborhood could hear what was happening, me getting yelled at and all that stuff. And she apparently was very keen to what was happening with my stepfather. I will never forget, we're not going down this space one day, but one time my stepfather hit me outside in the front yard. And according to him and my mother, he didn't intend to hit me in the stomach. I turned and he hit me in the stomach and I lost my breath and I fell over. And that girl, Jen, was outside in her yard just a few minutes before that. And I thought she could see it and I was mortified. But anyway, yeah, yesterday was great. Thank you so much for being my therapist yesterday, everybody. I will not go back and listen to that 24 and 24, or I will stop when it got to the ugly cry part. And I understand that there are a lot of people that thought that that was cathartic for them and people wanted to share. I did read your comments. I had the volume down and I was going back and watching. And I'm just like, I understand like there are some people that may see that as pathetic or lame or whatever. That felt very good yesterday to talk, cry, share, bring that up. Felt great. Good to revisit that stuff every once in a while. Really good. Really, really good. Reaffirmed, like, for me, like, this whole thing about my life. You know what I mean? I don't ever, I'm very cognizant of the fact that sometimes I put blame on other people for all of the shit that's wrong with me in my life. Right? I understand that. And if you're a big fan of my stepfather, which some people are, they will say, like, all you do is complain that, you know, he was this or that, you're in control of your own life and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. One of the key things I read yesterday was like, I was just a kid. Can you imagine at that time, I felt like I was like such a big adult, but I was like 13, 14 when that shit was happening. That's a kid. That's a kid. Like I think about my own kids when they were 13 and 14. Fucking nuts. Nuts. I would never. I should mention, If you're in a relationship with a guy that is treating your kids that way and he's not their dad, or even if he is, just get the fuck out now. Just get out. Get out. Don't put your kids through it. Jess, have you asked any of these prospective employers why she isn't getting the job? No, believe it or not, I cannot get involved in my kids' job situations. Like even Jack with this situation with work where he's like, if I call out of work, they're going to penalize me. They're not going to cut my hours. I want to just pick up the phone and be like, hey, listen, this is my son. Yes, he's 19, but he's sick and he's paranoid about getting his hours cut, but he's really fucking sick and he's a hard worker. You guys should know that. And whatever, I got to stay out of it. I can't, I would never call them. I stay out of it. Certainly encourage Georgia to ask, you know what I mean? But to be honest with you, they're giving her like these fake, like, oh, we just hired, I don't know, maybe Sonic, listen, maybe she's going to call Sonic today. This is the plan. I'm going to go in the house right now. I'm going to go check my account. I'm going to see if I have money. I'm going to go pay 3 bills that must get paid. And then I am going to check on Jack. I'm going to get his car started because it's been sitting here for 5 days through a snowstorm. I suspect it's going to need a jump just because it's, it's an older car, although it has a new battery. It might be fine. And I'm going to see if Jack feels well enough to get in the car and go drive and get himself some Dunkin' Donuts. I want to see him start like working like his strength. You know what I mean? Get him going. And then before I know it, it's going to be time to go get Georgia at 12. I'm going to pick her up. I'm going to take her to the boot barn because that is like her gift for like my success. I'm going to take her there. And on the way there, we're going to call Sonic while I'm in the car. And I'm going to talk her through it. And then I'm going to let her call so she can follow up and see if she got the job. If she didn't, then it's going to be perfect because we're going to be going to a place where she's going to be getting something she normally wouldn't get. And so it'll be a good, I don't know if I got paid yet. It should be today. I don't know. I haven't been on my laptop yet. But this is my plan. Like, let's go get the disappointment of not getting the job on the way to the boot barn and let me buy you a sweatshirt and some jewelry because I know she will love it. So is there a fake Ray from Dallas? Here comes the grift. I need money to pay my bills. This is my job now. I used to work for radio stations and they only paid me $20 an hour to put on an amazing broadcast. And I would come home and I would cry and I would say, I'm so much better than what I'm getting paid for. When will I ever be properly compensated? And Jeffrey would say, it's okay. One day you're gonna make it. And I would say, no, I'm never gonna make it. And then I went and I got hired by the Howie Carr Radio Network. What a legend, what a legend, what a legend. And I was like, I am going to make it big here. I am going to fill in all the time. They pay so much money an hour. My old radio station can kiss my ass because it was so much money. And I was so excited and I couldn't believe it. I told my family, we are all set. I'm going to make it in the industry. So excited. And I'm working for Howie Carr. Wow, this is so amazing. Can you imagine that Caroline Levitt, who works for the president, also is filling in at the same time as me at Howie Carr? I was skinny. Everything was great. And then one day I got served papers and said that I was a witness in a lawsuit that had nothing to do with me, but kind of a little bit to do with me, but I was only a witness. And then I called Kathy Carr and I was like, hi, Kathy, it's me, Jessica, your favorite new hire. Guess what's happening? I got subpoenaed. It's not that big of a deal. It does involve the Mass GOP and some things that you should know about. And she was like, oh, that's okay. Thanks so so much for telling me, Jessica. This is so great for you. And I was like, LOL, I know. And then I hung up the phone and I called my husband. And then while I was on the phone with my husband, I got a call from Kathy Carr. And I said, hold on, babe, I'm going to call you right back. Da 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 da. And then I say, hi, Kathy, it's me, Jessica. And she's like, Jessica, we're going to let you go. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, sorry, we don't want anything to do with this. And thank you so much. Bye-bye. And then I called my husband back, and poor Jeffrey, he had to listen to me hyperventilate in the car on the way home. And then I was so sad because I didn't have any money, but I didn't want to give up on my talent or my career. I called WBSM, I called them and I said, hi, guess what? I got fired from Howie Carr. Yeah. And they said, you know what? We got a show. You can do it every night. It's from 6 to 10 or 7 to 10. And I said, oh my God, I can't believe it. Thank you. How much do I get paid? And they said $20 an hour. And I went home and told Jeffrey. And I said, I really want to do the show, but it's not enough of money for us to pay our bills. And he said, it's okay. Just do it. We'll make it work. And then the repo guy came because we couldn't pay our bills. We didn't go on vacation because Jessica wanted to be a star. And I kept plugging along, and then I got hired from Florida Reporter, and oh my God, now I'm an investigative reporter, and I'm a journalist. But that didn't pay any money either. And then I came and I had to cover Karen Reed. I said, this is where it's at. Can I go and cover it? And he said no, and I said yes, and he said no, and I said yes. And then he said, fine, you can go, but I'm not paying you anymore. And so I would rent cars to drive up to Denham because my car was a piece of shit, because the real good car was hiding in the garage from the repo man. And so I was getting paid $475 a week, but it was costing me $500 to cover the Karen Reed trial. And I got no money while YouTube people were making fucking bank. And I was poor as fuck. And then I got fired by Florida Reporter because I wasn't covering local stories, and I had a choice to make. Go work a real job or try to do this on my own. Fake Ray from Dallas, I had a decision to make. And you know what I said? Jessica, it's time. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Hey, family meeting. Hey, Mom, what's going on? I'm going to go and try to do this on my own. Oh, great. Love that for us, Mom. Does that mean no more vacations? Well, for a little while, kids. Oh, gee, Mom. Well, you better fucking make it big. Okay, everybody, I'll try. And then I start the Jess Machado show, and then the Jess Machado Substack. Then I cover Karen Reed, and then I start a YouTube channel, and now I made fucking money. Shut the fuck up. In the first month, I didn't make a lot of money. It was peanuts. And the second month, I didn't make a lot of money. It was also peanuts. But I had a free studio, and that made me feel great. And my overhead was low, but we still weren't fucking going grocery shopping like I wanted to. Then the third month showed some signs. And I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe people like me. Let me show more of myself. It seems to be that's the way to do it. And then in December, I got a payout from November. And I was like, oh my God, I can buy Christmas presents this year. It's going to be great. Shush it. Let me live my best life. Let me try. I put on puppet shows for this. I earn it. I don't just come on. I don't don't just do boring shit. I work. I try. I use my imagination. I do beaver moon ceremonies. I do horizon social charts. I do seances. I do interviews. I find people on the internet that are isolating for a year. I try. I give and I try. I tell you all about bad things in my life to make you feel better about yours. I bake for you. I cook for you. This isn't a grift. It's my job. And I try to do it really well, like all the other people that do it. I'm Ray from Dallas. I hear you. It definitely sucks. I feel like it's a shitty job sometimes. I don't feel right about it. It feels weird when people give me money. It feels weird. I don't know. I don't know. I can't get rid of the whole thought of like, when's the other shoe going to drop? When's it all going to fucking fall apart? I don't really know. For now, I'm really trying to live in the moment and be like, you know what? I really care about what I'm doing. I try to be authentic. I try to be honest. I try to be entertaining. And that's it. And I have a right to earn a living off of it. Currently, it changes all the time, but currently 53% of my income from YouTube. So if my payout in December was like $9,700, right? 52% of that was just from YouTube ads, right? So that's just from me putting out the content and ads playing. So even if nobody gave me a dime, nobody gave me a super chat or anything, there's enough of money there that like somebody could say like, this is a good part-time gig just from that alone. And that wouldn't be grifting off of anybody. Like if nobody gave a super chat, I think eventually over time I could build enough views where nobody would donate anything. I could shut off super chats. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that really a grift? If you do a show and YouTube advertisers pay me for the show, I do a show every motherfucking day. I do a show every goddamn day, 7 days a week. I put out something. I'm currently very comfortable with that. There may be a time where I'm not. And I don't know what to tell you, but all I do is put up a video and it gets fucking 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 views. If it got 100, I wouldn't fucking put a video out. But those views happen. And so what do you want me to, how is that a fucking grift? You want me to grift? I'm going to put up a goddamn fucking vacation fund and say, here you go, everybody. I want to go on vacation. I've never been here. I want to go. That's a grift. You know what's a bigger grift? A bigger grift is people like fucking Brian who fucking aren't open and transparent about their money, who make it out like it's some sort of weird it's weird to them. It's weird to these people. It's like when you see Mike Crawford talking, look at all those super chats. Look at that's fucking grift shit. You know what I'll take any day? I'll take 2,000 members over one super chat. Those are people that are actually committed, that actually want to be here, that like the extra emotion. Maybe one of these days I'll do a fucking members only, but you know, I feel bad for the people that don't. You know, I feel bad for them that they would potentially miss something funny that happens. We can't gatekeep this, but like I would rather, what is this fucking comment? Somebody read me that comment that said Jess Machado. Hold on, I got to go back. Hold on, I can see it. Wait, I got to go slow. Shit, I can't see it. It said Jess Machado. Can somebody find it for me? It was about Manny Sylvia. Jess, why don't you support Manny Sylvia for Somerset? Hi, Monica. So we can't talk politics too much, right? Because I don't want people to get pissed off. I know. What about the members? I know. There's a weird thing. Like I was thinking about this last night. Again, I was like up late. I was working on like my business part of this. And I was like, I could easily just be like, okay, not the Turtle Boy one, but I'm going to do something and it's members only. And I know that would increase my membership. People are going to be like, I don't want to miss it. But God damn it, I feel bad for the people that are just like, I can't. And I feel like I'm going to be left out. I feel weird about that. Does that make sense? I don't mind local politics. So I don't know. I'm working on it. In regards to Manny Sylvia, so I just want to let you know, this is over a lot of people's heads. You all have state senators. If you're even remotely from my area, we have a state senator, Michael Rodrigues. He's been there for forever. He's a Democrat, okay? He almost never gets anybody running against him, but he's won easily every time. But there was a guy that ran against him, Russell Prentice, and he got like 46% of the vote, and he didn't even run a campaign. So with all of the towns and cities and things around Fall River, this is a really good time for a Republican to try to take out Mike Rodrigues, right? The data is there with the right candidate. A year ago, a guy named Manny Sylvia, who lives in Somerset, was like, I'm going to run against him. The very first day, I was just like, this is not the right candidate to beat him. And there's just 1,000 reasons why I didn't think he was the right candidate, but he was the only candidate. And two things: Manny Sylvia is friendly and his campaign is being run or supported by Kayla Churchill, not on paper, not by name, but Kayla Churchill is in Manny Sylvia's corner. Okay. Now, before everything happened with Kayla Churchill that you all know about, I knew what kind of a person she was. And anybody that Kayla Churchill is working to get elected is a bad person. Either you're bad just like her, or you are too stupid to know she's bad. And I believe Manny was a combination of both. Unfortunately, my committee was under attack by Kayla Churchill, and they had a very bad experience with her showing up at our meetings, videotaping one of our events when we said no cameras, this other guy showing up and swearing at one of our meetings, her recording our meetings. My committee was like, basically, fuck Kayla Churchill. This has nothing to do with her and Jessica. This has to do with how she's acting towards our committee. So when Kayla and Manny were out at some parade together, and Manny was walking with Kayla side by side, holding a sign for her and like whatever, the committee was just like, we are not supporting anybody that Kayla Churchill is with, right? Manny didn't like that. Manny was just like, no, I'm disconnected from her. He came into our meeting and sat in front of everybody, and everybody was just like, here's how we feel about this person. And this is before all of this shit happened with her and I this fall. And he was like, I'm going to make a commitment to you to disconnect from Kayla Churchill and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, all I'm asking is for a chance. And everybody was like, listening to him. He left after that meeting. Everybody was just like, I don't believe him. I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Sure enough, she's still out there working for his campaign, sharing his shit, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff happens. Then Boomer Amaral is running for mayor against Paul Coogan, and Kayla Churchill goes and gets a candidate to change from Democrat to Republican to run against Boomer and the mayor. And primary Boomer, which is crazy. It's crazy for a city like that to primary somebody in a small election like that. Not only somebody who wasn't even a Republican, but it's nuts. It basically made Boomer have to deal with the candidate that Kayla picked to run against him as opposed to Coogan. So he had to like take time out from going against the mayor and fucking deal with this primary person, right? And Boomer beat him in the primary, but he lost by 170 votes. Well, how many votes did that candidate get in the primary? Like 300? And what did they do? That candidate endorsed Coogan over Boomer. So all of his supporters went and voted for Coogan. If Kayla hadn't done that, if Kayla hadn't primaried Boomer, if they hadn't even told them all to go and vote for Coogan, Boomer would be the mayor. Okay. So this is the kind of stuff that you're dealing with these people. So Boomer loses by like 170 votes. The conversation was always happening. If Boomer lost, what was going to be the next step? And that conversation about running for state senator was always on the table. We needed to see how Boomer did, what his numbers were. Was he a likable candidate? And also, did he want to go for this? This is a statewide race, like a state Senate race. Like it's a lot more comprehensive than a local race, right? So the conversation had been buzzing around behind the scenes. Boomer needed to reassess. He really needed to think about it. But Manny Sylvia was always still running. Over the course of this past year, Manny ran his campaign, and to be quite honest with you, it's lackluster. Now, I was wrongfully told he only raised $300. He only has $300 on hand. He had 10,000 and he has 300 left. I don't know. I haven't looked if that 10,000 is actually his own money into his account, because you can self-finance. I have a belief system that that's probably what it is. I haven't looked at campaign finance yet, but I don't think that he has gotten any money. Okay. Boomer is his nickname. His name is Gabriel Boomer Amaral. And so now it's time to really make a decision. Should Boomer run? Now that would mean that he would be primarying Manny. Now, I think there's like a gentleman's agreement subtly in place that you shouldn't do that, but Kayla Churchill primaried Boomer. So why should we extend the same courtesy and not primary Manny, right? And also, we've seen numbers from Boomer, and it was great. We might be able to actually win with Boomer. I don't think we can win with Manny. So Boomer decides to say he's going to run. I will support Boomer. I don't think either one of them are the perfect candidate, but you know who's the worst? Senator Mike Rodrigues. So, I can't support Manny because of the people that he surrounds himself with. And then just to answer your question, and then we're done here. A friend of mine was in Ocean State job lot shopping, and Manny Sylvia was in Ocean State on his phone, and he was shit talking me to someone on the phone and saying not nice things about me. And that person that I was friends with me messaged me and said, I am in Ocean State job lot right now, and you're not going to believe what's happening, but Manny Sylvia is here. He doesn't know who I am, and he is shit talking you on a phone call. And he sent me a video and a picture of him in there. And I was like, this motherfucker. And I was like, you know what? This was after he came into our committee. This is after he said, maybe that was before. But I confronted him on it, and he was like, no, I don't think that was me. And I was like, it was definitely you, sir. So I'm going to be honest with you. Nice guy. Love that somebody wants to step up and run. I'm not picking him. He's not my candidate. Also, by the way, I would not have, I'm not behind Boomer running. I was asked for my opinion, and I was asked to speak with him and give my take on it. And I gave some things that I think Boomer really needed in order to say yes. I don't think he got those things yet, but whatever. But there are other people that asked him to run. My thing is this: I have no problem saying to Manny to his face, which is exactly what happened. The people you have associated with you, the people running your campaign, are people of poor character and low integrity, and are very hurtful to me and people I know, and counterproductive to our party. And I don't know why you can't see that, but I'm telling you this: if you so choose to stay with those people, now it shows more about you than it does about them. And that's where we're at. So that is why, long version, I'm not supporting Manny Sylvia. Can I go in the house now? Is everybody okay? What's happening in the chat? Is the fake Ray from Dallas here? God, I'm going to have to edit out that song I just sang. I probably sound like a fucking loser in that. It's 8:47. Imagine if we wrap this up before 9. Oh my God, what time is it?
Isaac, heir of the...
What time is it? Hold on. Oh my God, 9:42. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. Meow, 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 meow. All right, so tonight we have Bunny After Dark starts 7 o'clock. Kane is going to be a guest at 7:30. Aiden is going to be a guest at 9 o'clock. Is my Truth musical? Meowza. Monica Lopes, we are not going to casino. We have a lot to talk about. 100%, but we are not. We have a lot of things to do today. Lots of things to do today. Happy birthday to the baker. He's not 27. That's a lie. Everybody, let's get off. You're going to feel better about yourself that you didn't get sucked into 4 hours of this drama. Don't forget, Ben has a show tonight. Good luck on your interview today, Ben. Ben has a show before mine. I'm hoping he dropped it in the chat. We cannot go shopping no, Romy. No. No. Listen, maybe tomorrow after we drop off Georgia, we go looking for some Pyrex tomorrow. Okay. Yes, I am also very excited about Bunny After Dark today. You have no idea what I'm going to be doing. Like, oh my God. Like, I instantly thought of it when he was on his show last night. He was like, I just want to let you know, I've been invited. I've accepted the request to go on Bunny After Dark. No drama. I instantly, right then and there, I was just like, oh my God, I have the absolute funniest fucking thing to do with him. And so, like, my thing is, this is going to be a very interesting interview. Okay. Think about this for a second. Aiden can sometimes be a guest on shows and he adds commentary. Like I've been on Rat House when he's jumped on Rat House. I've been on Jimmy's show when Jimmy's having a conversation and Aiden jumps in. This is not a jump in thing. You're a guest, sir. We're going to be giving you an actual interview, okay? And my thing here is, I know you all have questions for this man that I did not check my account yet. I'm in the car. I don't have my laptop. Like, I know that there were questions that you, it's an interrogation, sir. Like, I know that there are things that I want to ask him, I've never asked him, that you also want to know. And I absolutely know the parameters of what drama means. I absolutely know, like, his triggers. I know things that we can't talk about. I think I know just enough to ask that will provoke some really interesting things that I don't think he's ever talked about before, but are still actually important or interesting. You know, I just think that there is a whole conversation with him that is sex on the agenda tonight. It might be, but, like, what kind of a question do you think that I would ask with that? If I had to ask him, I'm like, do you think that you're a sex addict? Do you really believe that you're a sex addict? Like, I would like to know that. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I'm not in a facetious way, like, there's going to be some fun parts of this, but I am seriously going to be asking him some questions. Like, I think you all deserve that. And I also think that he is a very likable person outside of when he is in caged animal mode, when he has to be defensive, when he has to protect himself, when he has to, like, take steps to protect himself. Like, there is a person underneath there that if you like me and you know how I am with my family and my kids or whatever, like, I wouldn't associate with someone that was a total fucking loser. Like, I wouldn't. I could actually build my brand around hating him, and that would be equally as successful, I think, if I wanted to, right? But, like, I think that there's a good person there, and I've seen the day that I gave him my press pass and he looked at me and he was like, nobody has ever done anything that nice for me. Like, that's him right there. Like, that's the one, him, that person, that Aiden. Humble, grateful, thankful, overwhelmed, teary-eyed. That's him right there in the wild. And that person is there. Do you know what I mean? And so one of the things that I thought was I'll talk about it tonight, but the article that came out about his documentary deal, right? Here for the second time, of course you are. One of the things I thought about that article yesterday is, and I texted him right away about it, in the midst of all of this shit and drama on X and on the internet, right? Those things seem very important and relevant on a daily basis. Whatever 5150 is doing, when Krista Koala, this weirdo who jumps in and is just like, I'm going to hold you accountable, right? With all of the drama with JFK and with all of the even the Karen drama, that all seems very important. But what this article did yesterday is it stripped away all of that. And it very succinctly reminded all of you of who this person is, how they got here, and how valuable he is. And it was almost like a palate cleanse of all of the shit going on. And it was just the right time to remind everybody, this is a story. This is a court case. This is something that should have everybody interested. And the fact that this came out in such a great way, and it basically recentered me. It was like, yep, 100%. Let's fucking go. This guy, the way that they explained it's a complicated story. And I'm going to tell you something. If I ever had to explain to a complete stranger who he is, that article yesterday announcing the situation is exactly what I would send them. I would send that to that person. I'd be like, here, read this. This is what he is. All of this other little sub fucking drama plot shit, fine. But what this guy has been through from the start until now, I mean, think about how he started. Think about the loss of his career. Think about he went through those days of trying to stay anonymous and then going all in on it. Like, and think about all of the fucking stories that guy has exposed for this state alone. Why he isn't getting awards is bizarre to me. And I think it's because people take and extract the human parts of him, the flawed parts of him, and somehow those things are more important than the body of work. The body of work is extraordinary. The body of work is extraordinary. And the Karen Read case is super sloppy and super messy because of all of the other fucking people involved. His character, who he is, has been the same through all of this shit. So I'm not going to let him lose his chip. We're not going to talk about drama. I'm talking about that with you. I have some very thought-provoking questions that I do not believe anybody else has asked him. And I also believe that he is very capable of saying, I don't want to answer that. He's going to completely pivot if he doesn't want to, but I'm not going to put him in positions. No, there's no drama. I get a lot of shit from some people because I'm friends with him. And I'm not talking internet friends. And I'll give you the perfect example, Anthony Amore. Anthony Amore does not like Turtle Boy and what he stands for, right? And Anthony would say all the time, like, I'm looking out for your kid, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I would push back and I would say, yeah, you don't know him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know him. And I think he's one of those people that just like, they're not involved in X. They weren't really aware of all the people and all of the stuff. They just took the surface information. And I was just like, this is like a person that is doing like some serious fucking work here. You know what I mean? And he's not the only person that used to push back on me. And I had to sell him to Jeff. My husband was just like, this seems like drama. And I would say, do you know how many people would say that about me? How many people would say that that's about me? She's just drama. She's crazy. She's a bitch. Oh, she's got court cases. And how many fucking people now, years later, go, I had it all wrong. I listened to people. I didn't know the truth. There is a girl right now, and I will give a shout out to her. Her name is Cheryl Costa, and she has been popping up on X more and more and more. And she is somebody that was in my town, and she and her husband listened to that surface rhetoric for years and did not like me. There are memorialized comments where she and her husband said not nice things about me. And I would never inbox a person, which I never did. I never said anything all the years. I watched all those comments. I watched her side with other people. And there was an incident that occurred where I ran into her husband face to face at the library. I was leaving a meeting. He's a firefighter, and something had happened in town where people were saying I was responsible for something. This is last year. And it actually mattered to me to say it to his face because he had been vocal about the situation online and how despicable and disgusting it was. And I pulled him aside. I said, hi. I said, I'm Jess. And he's like, I know you. And I was like, listen, I was like, do you have a minute? And he's like, yeah. And I said, I never did this. I never did this. This is not me. I never admitted to this. I never under oath said this was me. And I just made like a connection with him. I looked him in the face. I looked him in the eye. I told him my side. And that completely changed how they felt about me. And now Cheryl is here sometimes advocating for me in the chat. And she messaged me, and I appreciated her message so much because she is like the culmination of years and years and years of mistreatment by people in this town who were good people who just didn't know. You know what I mean? And the fact that she can like look back and say like, you know what? I didn't listen enough. Maybe I was busy. I had it wrong. And then kind of makes good on it and is like defending me here sometimes. I'm so grateful for it. And I don't know her. You know what I mean? I know of her, and I know of her husband. He's a character in town. He does like wrestling, which is like my kids used to watch a shit at the PAL, but like I don't know. It just means something that I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but it just kind of means something to me when people take the time. And I think like Aiden has had that on such a broader scale where people just chalk him up to being drama and court cases. And, you know, regular people don't get dragged into court. So what the fuck? You've got to be a bad person. You've got to be doing some bad shit. No, actually, you know what I mean? No, I'm actually not a bad person because I got dragged into court all those times. I'm not a bad person because I got arraigned on charges of harassment. I'm not. I'm no convictions. You know what I mean? Same with him. No convictions so far. So, and I know 100%, Jemmy, that is what it is. Fear. People were afraid of other people believing me and me telling the stories about this town, and they were scared other people would listen to me and believe me and vote differently. And so what do? You completely dismantle my reputation so that nobody feels comfortable aligning with me. Nobody feels comfortable holding a sign for Jess Machado for school committee. She's fucking nuts. She's a scumbag. She's crazy. She's going to jail. That's why the Aiden shit is so important to me. Like, that guy fucking paved the way so I could do what I do. By the way, last thing, and I'm getting out of the car. Call Her Daddy had Michelle Obama on her show tonight, okay? Michelle fucking Obama, the former First Lady of the United States. Not a fan. But Alex Cooper from Newtown, Pennsylvania, who had a podcast where she talked about blowjobs every fucking day, is now interviewing the former First Lady of the United States of America. I can talk about blowjobs whenever I want. Thank you very much. Have a good day.